UN Chief Antonio Guterres said on Monday that he was appalled by reports of Palestinians killed and injured while seeking aid in Gaza. Here's UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric.
The Secretary General condemns the reported killings and injuries of Palestinians who were seeking aid in Gaza yesterday. It is unacceptable that Palestinians are risking their lives for food. The Secretary General calls for an immediate and independent investigation into these events and for perpetrators to be held accountable.
On Sunday, Palestinian and international officials said at least 31 people had been killed, and dozens more were wounded near an aid distribution site operated by the US-based Gaza Humanitarian Foundation.
We've had a shooting at the GHF Aid Distribution Centre near Rafah.
British surgeon Victoria Rose said many of the injured were rushed to local hospitals, like the Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis.
These are all gunshot wounds, and as you can see behind me, we've got all the bays are full, and they're all gunshot wounds. It's absolute carnage here, and there are even more people in the main emergency department.
Local health authorities said on Monday that several more Palestinians had been killed or wounded by Israeli fire near the same site. The Israeli military said it was aware of reports of casualties, and the incident was being thoroughly looked into. On Monday, the military said in a statement that troops operating overnight in Rafah had fired warning shots to prevent several suspects approaching them, adding the incident took place less than a mile away from the aid distribution site. It denied firing at people gathering to collect aid on Sunday. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, a private group sponsored by the United States and endorsed by Israel, said there had been no fatalities or injuries at its distribution site or the surrounding area. It said Sunday's distribution was carried out without incident, describing reports of deaths as fabricated by Hamas. Reuters could not independently verify what took place. The reported deaths and injuries are the latest in a series of incidents, underscoring the volatile security situation that has complicated aid delivery to Gaza, following the easing last month of an almost 3-month Israeli blockade.
The current scheme that is proposed, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, appears to be an attempt for Israel to be able to supply just enough humanitarian aid to keep individuals alive who are not in any way associated with Hamas, and to prevent Hamas from getting any access to any relief food at all. So the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has literally been started from scratch in a matter of days. The idea came from Israel. It has been taken over by the United States. It appears that it will be run by the private sector, including private military contractors. It's not yet clear who will fund it. It's been widely criticized by professional humanitarians because of its limited reach, because of the limited nature of the supplies that it is going to provide. And it is certainly better than nothing. Under the current situation, it is likely that Gaza will descend into outright famine, outright mass starvation within a matter of days.
The use of starvation as a weapon of war is a clear war crime. Every single child in Gaza today is at risk of famine. And what we have been hearing from the ground is absolutely harrowing reports. Families are being forced to feed their children everything from animal feed, flour ground up in sand, leaves, grass, whatever they can find just to keep their children alive. And the entire Gaza Strip is at risk of famine.
The proposed scheme under the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation provides less. It will have, in the first phase, about 4 distribution centers, down from 400. In the second phase, it may expand that number. The ration that they are providing is less than the humanitarian ration provided by the United Nations. None of the specialized services, such as supplementary therapeutic feeding for malnourished children, are part of this package. These are all the reasons why the United Nations and most professional humanitarians are very critical of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation scheme.
If there is a reduction in the number of sites where people can access assistance, that would effectively reduce or exclude the most vulnerable people in Gaza from accessing aid. How are the elderly who have been starved supposed to walk miles and miles to access humanitarian assistance? How are children who have no parents supposed to enter what may be militarized zones to collect assistance? How are people who have been injured, who are disabled, supposed to go long distances to access assistance? That's not feasible. That's not practical. In addition to that, humanitarian assistance is only humanitarian when it's delivered independent from political and military objectives.
The current humanitarian plan under the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation appears to be an effort to feed just enough Gazan civilians so that the starvation is then targeted more precisely at Hamas and its operatives. This is an adaptation of a well-established counterinsurgency strategy used by, among others, the British in Malaya and the Americans in Vietnam to isolate insurgents from the civilian population. The Israelis are doing it in a more systematic, a much more sophisticated manner than has ever been done before. It remains to be seen whether it will actually work. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation is an attempt to provide a type of relief program that we might call surveillance humanitarianism. Israel has very good intelligence about all the individuals in Gaza, and it will screen them. And it will use sophisticated face recognition technology to make sure only those individuals it has screened and targeted are able to access the food. And the rations that it is intending to provide will be just enough to provide one family for 1 week on a minimum ration. And that should, if it works, be enough to ensure that no food goes to Hamas operatives.
מתחילת המלחמה אמרנו שכדי להשלים את הניצחון, להכריע את החמאס ולשחרר את כל חטופינו, שתי משימות שמשולבות זו בזו, יש תנאי אחד הכרחי. אסור לנו להגיע למצב של רעב, גם מבחינה עניינית, גם מבחינה מדינית. פשוט לא יתמכו בנו, לא נוכל להשלים את משימת הניצחון. ולכן החלטנו לתת סיוע מינימלי תוך כדי המלחמה, וכמובן שהתקדמנו בצורה הזאת, וגילינו כמובן שהחמאס בוזז חלק מהסיוע הזה. ולכן עצרנו את הסיוע ההומניטרי. ויחד עם ידידינו האמריקנים, החלטנו לעשות שיטה אחרת. השיטה היא נקודות חלוקה שמאובטחות על ידי צה"ל, מונעות את הגישה של החמאס ומאפשרות לחברות אמריקניות לחלק את הסיוע של המזון והתרופות לאוכלוסייה. זה לוקח זמן. אנחנו הולכים להקים את הנקודות הראשונות עוד כמה ימים ולהוסיף אותם בהמשך. בסוף להגיע למצב שיש לנו אזור שנשלט כולו על ידי צה"ל, וכל האוכלוסייה האזרחית של עזה יכולה להגיע לשם ולקבל את הסיוע כשהחמאס לא מקבל כלום. זה חלק מהכרעת החמאס במקביל ללחץ הצבאי האדיר, הכניסה המסיבית שלנו, בעצם להשתלט על כל עזה ולהוריד את החמאס מכל היכולת לבזוז סיוע הומניטרי. זו תוכנית המלחמה והניצחון.
We're going to help the people of Gaza get some food. People are starving, and we're going to help them get some food. A lot of people are making it very, very bad. If you look, Hamas is making it impossible because they're taking everything that's brought in. But we're going to help the people of Gaza because they're being treated very badly by Hamas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, everyone.
The allegation, the claim that Hamas is stealing and diverting aid and prospering from aid has been made since the beginning of this recent war. The Biden administration investigated this, and there was no evidence of diversion at scale that they were able to confirm.